Okay, so this morning I went to Phoenix, Arizona. It was me and my mom. And, well, the funny thing is, a few days ago, I think I was, like rambling off towns and crap for them to take me to, for the aliens to, you know, give me a scenario or whatever. And I can't remember if I was actually thinking about, if I rambled off Arizona. It seemed like I had Arizona on the brain for some reason. But anyway, well, they took me to Phoenix, Arizona this morning. I'm trying to talk about it now while it's really, really fresh, instead of waiting forever, because then you forget little details. But yeah, so basically, okay, so the scenario started like me and mom were like outside or whatever. We were like outdoors and we were talking, and my sister was already there in Phoenix, Arizona. So me and mom, we started talking, and we were like, okay, well, let's go visit her for 2 days. So that's when it all started. We were only going to go for 2 days, and this whole scenario, it lasted a long time, probably a few days, in non-3D time or whatever. But in 3D time, I don't know, the scenario, I don't know, it probably lasted an hour. But yeah, okay, so then we were, okay, at first my mom drove the whole time. Okay, and first of all, it was a 10-hour drive, which I don't know why the aliens somehow programmed that in the scenario, that it was a 10-hour drive from here to Phoenix, Arizona. But I know in real life it would probably be much longer than that, than 10 hours. But anyway, in the scenario, it was a 10-hour drive, and my mom drove the whole time. And at first, when we first started driving, it seemed like I was in a car, and I was in the the passenger seat, and that lasted a little while, and we were on the street, and my mom was driving, and it was funny. And a little while after that, I was in a van, like a very long van, and I was way in the back, and my mom was in the front driving. So I had all this space and many you know, rows, probably 3 or 4 rows of chairs, you know, in front of me. It was a very long van. And I know in real life they don't make vans that long, but in the scenario, the van was very long. And it was so funny because I was way in the back, and she was driving to Phoenix, Arizona. And I was just observing her and stuff, and my mom was just like, la la, like as if she enjoyed traveling and enjoyed driving, which she does not, kind of like me. Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind going, well, you know, if I had somebody to go with or whatever, it would be kind of fun. Especially if you had, you know, pretty big vehicle, not a freaking little bitty car. But, it would be fun, but now it would just be kind of hard for me because, you know, you can't fucking eat McDonald's, you can't, it's a fucking disability when you have, food allergies. Okay, so anyway, but fuck that anyway, because I like being home anyway, so fuck, I don't fucking care. I mean, I've always enjoyed being at home or whatever. But, so anyway, yeah, it was so funny, because my mom was just like, la 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 la, hunky-dory, you know, like driving, la 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 la, like as if she enjoyed it. You know, and that's not her at all. And, so she was taking us to Phoenix, Arizona, just me, and it was my mom. But like I say, we first started off in a car, and then it transformed into a big long van. Okay, so then, okay, and I'm going to try to remember every single freaking detail. I hope I don't forget anything. So then we ended up stopping at a motel. Oh yeah, and by the way, the name of the motel, oh god, I hope I can remember it. Oh shit, it wasn't Motel 8. It was one of those main chain hotel. What was it? Not Hollywood. Not Howard Johnson's. I'm gonna have to punch it in. It wasn't Motel 8, but it was one of those main chains. And I totally remembered it when I woke up and everything. And now I've kind of It wasn't Motel 8. It wasn't Howard Johnson's. Oh, shit. But yeah, let me look it up real quick. Okay, let's see. Howard Johnson. Ah, shit. Wish I could remember it. But anyway, it was a main chain hotel. And I knew in the scenario, like I knew it was supposed to be a little nicer than it was, or at least, well, I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, hold on. Howard Johnson's, it wasn't Howard Johnson's. Oh man, I can't remember it. Okay, let's see here. Chain brand name hotels. Was it Marriott? Started with the, let's see, main chain. Wait, hold on. Oh man, I wish I could. I should have totally wrote it down or whatever when I woke up. Chain top 100 hotel. I mean, it was similar to like a Motel 8, just one of those main chains. Wait a minute, let me see. Okay, hold on. Hotels, I'll put it hotels in my town because it's probably one of those. Okay, let's see. Howard Johnson's. It was not Howard Johnson's. I don't think that one exists anymore either. No, it wasn't Microtel Inn. Best what? Yeah, that's what it was. Best Western. That's what it was. Best Western. University Plaza. No, it wasn't that. Holiday Inn. Candlewood Holiday Inn. Oh, Doubletree. No, it was. That's what it was. It was Best Western. But it wasn't. That's all it was called. It wasn't like Best Western something something Inn, as far as I remember. It was just a generic Best Western. I knew it had 2 words in it. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, it was Best Western, and that's where we stopped off at the motel. We stopped off at Best Western, but when we got into the room, it was like all shitty. It was very, very, very little. I mean, super little. And it had 4 twin beds, and that's all it had. It didn't have a bathroom or a sink. It didn't have any dressers or anything, and the beds were not even made up. It was just like this gross white 4, mattresses with no bedding or anything. The bedding was just kind of thrown on the floor. The beds weren't made yet, and I remember thinking, oh, God damn it. I remember thinking, but yeah, it was Best Western. Now, I can't remember if it was Best Western something something Inn. I don't think it was. I think it was just Best Western. And, because I knew that's why I punched the hotels in my town, because I knew the alien would have copied something that I'm used to seeing in my town. And that's what it was. It was Best Western. And, but like I said, when we got to the motel room, I'm like, wow, isn't this supposed to be like at least a, 2 or 3 star hotel or whatever? But in real life, I don't even know if those kind of motels are ranked or whatever. But anyway, so, okay, but here's the other part I'm going to say before I forget really quick. So as I started observing, like me and Mom started observing the motel room, several minutes like went by. Well, actually, I'll say this other part first. The woman came in, the worker, she wasn't a maid, she was just like a front desk worker. She came in and she said, okay, let me show you where the bathroom is. And so she showed me where the bathroom was, and I went into the bathroom, and it was really nice and kind of luxurious looking. It was really, really, really nice, unlike the motel room that we got stuck in. And I looked over at the bathtub, and there were like, oh my God, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18. There were like 18 boxes, I mean big boxes, not little boxes, big boxes of toothpaste that we could just take our pick from and brush our teeth. That, like, they provided that many varieties. And it was all different brands. And it was the normal big tube boxes of toothpaste. And they were just lined up in the bathtub. And, of course, if we wanted to take a bath or something, we'd have to take all those out or whatever. But so that part was kind of weird, you know. But everything was kind of real luxurious in the bathroom. And I remember having these thoughts like I didn't understand why the bathroom was kind of luxurious, but yet the motel room was kind of nasty looking. And, okay, so then I go back to the motel room, and all of a sudden, I see a toad. And it was not Amanda, but it was a toad that looked just like her. And she started hopping around, the toad started hopping around, and then there was a rat. There was like a rat, it was a dark colored rat that started running around. And it didn't bother me at all, but I remember thinking, okay, that's probably going to bother my mom because I know she doesn't really like rodents. And, okay, so then, not long after that, this man and woman, this couple, this married couple comes walking in. And they're like, oh, you know, the front desk people, they assigned us, you know, with you guys. And I remember thinking, why would we want to share a room with two strangers, you know? But we did, because there was 4, you know, twin beds. And it was a very, very small room. And so anyway, so we did share the room with them. But I remember thinking, like, I knew that. I was thinking in my head, like, Mom's probably not going to like this and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so that part was all kind of funny. And I think the Aliens was trying to copy off of, when I was watching, let's see, what's it called? Downton Abbey or something, you know. Because they're like, you know, they had to share rooms and stuff, the maids and stuff. So I think the Aliens was trying to copy off that. But this couple was like, let's see, the woman seemed like she was older than the man. And, but they were like a white couple. And so we shared the room with them. But the funny thing was the rat and the rat and the big the big toad, which she looked like Amanda, but it wasn't Amanda. And like I say, and that was the exact name of the motel. It was Best Western. If it was Best Western something something Inn, I don't remember that part, but I know it was Best Western. And because I know it was 2 words like that. And I knew it was one that I've seen a lot around here in this town. So that's exactly what it was. And I probably wouldn't have been able to remember it if I didn't punch it up to try to give me ideas in my head or whatever. But that's what it was. It was Best Western. It's just one of those generic, you know, generic like motels or whatever. And I totally remembered it and everything when I woke up. It was totally in my head and everything. And then, of course, by the time I do the video, I forgot it. But anyway, okay, so after we checked out the motel room and everything, we ended up, now I don't actually remember getting in the car at this time. We ended up going to a little shopping area. And let's see, let me think here. It was a little shopping area, and we were gonna go get some food, except you know, but we had every intention of not actually eating out, but going shopping and then going to get our food like at a Walmart or whatever, because I knew, you know, in the scenario I was thinking, you know, my mom would be okay to travel with because she doesn't like to eat out anyway. You know, we were just gonna go find a Walmart and get our Whole Foods or whatever, and but in the meantime, like there were some little shops, and at some point we started walking around, and we went, like, it was almost kind of like a little area that it wasn't indoors. It was kind of like an outdoor, almost like a little, what's that called? A farmer's market type of thing, except it had a cover over the top. Except it was kind of outdoors too. And we were looking for like a McDonald's, because I think my mom, as far as I remember, she wanted like a cup of coffee. So we were looking for a McDonald's, and we did see one McDonald's in one little area, but it was all like closed up and dilapidated and closed. And then we came along, we started walking around, we came along this other McDonald's that was kind of in this setting of kind of like a, what do you call it? A farmer's market, except it just had a big I mean, it was outdoors, this whole area, but except, you know, it had a top and stuff over the, you know, the whole area. It had, you know, a top or whatever, roof or whatever you call it. And then over to the right was a McDonald's, and that one was open. And the grill was just like right there. And the cook was this Asian man. And he started like cooking these pancakes. And these pancakes were like super thick and super big as a plate. I mean, totally that big, as big as like an 11-inch plate. And he just kind of started, you know, like flipping it over, and me and Mom were like looking at those pancakes, and we were like, ew, you know, and they looked gummy and stuff. And I knew in the scenario, you know, I knew I couldn't eat that anyway. But I remember thinking in the scenario, you know, how, you know, me and Mom, we were saying how once upon a time the pancakes were good, you know, and now, you know, they were just gross, you know. And in real life, you know, now they're just, you know, they're already pre-made and they're microwavable or whatever, which a long time ago, they actually made them on the griddle. In the scenario, he was making them on the griddle, except we still knew that it wasn't the same pancake as long ago. And so eventually, anyway, my mom wanted a cup of coffee, so eventually she got her cup of coffee, and then we started, you know, we started walking around a little more, and I remember seeing some things along the way when we were like kind of walking across, walking past some shops, and I can't remember what it was, but I know I remember looking at some things, and I can't remember what I saw, but it was just some, you know, I don't know what it was because I can't remember, but so that part was kind of cool. Okay, so like I say, we were only gonna go for 2 days only. And then, okay, let me see if I remember any more parts of it. And like I say, this was to Phoenix, Arizona. And we stopped off at the Best Western. Okay, now let me think if there's any more to it. Cesar wants in because he's hungry. What time is it? 12:30? I fed him at 7:30, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, see, he knows. He knows every 5 or 6 hours it's time to eat. But, okay, I'm trying to think if there's any more. Because actually, maybe when we got into the van, the big van, maybe that's... Because I know I'm forgetting some shit. Maybe that was when we were going home. That's possible. Because we started out in the car. And, like I say, this scenario was so long, it's hard to remember. After the beginning and the other parts, it's hard to remember, you know, because you're in the scenario, like, so long. Or, you know, in non-3D time. And it lasted a long time. And I'm trying to think if we ever met up with my sister. Because it seems like, okay, I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. Okay, Phoenix, we went, and like I said, we hung out at that little area for quite a while. We walked around the whole shopping area. And like I say, at some point we were going to go to the Walmart to get some food, but we never did in the scenario. And yeah, actually, I think that was the end of... No, I know I'm forgetting some. Let me think. But anyway, as far as I remember, we did meet up with my sister, maybe just for a little bit, but I can't remember that part. But it seems like we did. And so then, after we roamed around that area and saw the Asian guy and the McDonald's and the pancake, it wasn't a normal McDonald's sign. It was just all very odd. The way it was set up, it was kind of like, well, like when I went to San Antonio, when you go in that Mexican area and you go to those little shops, and some of them are kind of like outdoors, or even if you go indoors, they're all set up in like little booths, kind of like that. But anyway, as far as I remember, we did meet up with her, but that part didn't last a long time. And now I'm thinking the end was when we got into the van and we were going home. I think that was the end of the scenario. And that's when it was like, wow, I'm like really far from my mom, because the van was super duper long. And I was way in the back and she was way in the front driving. And there was probably at least, you know, it was probably the length of kind of like a limo. The van was. And, you know, where there was maybe 4 or 5, you know, aisles of seats in the middle or whatever. And I think that was the end, but damn it, I know I'm probably forgetting some shit. That sucks. But yeah, as far as I remember, we did meet up with my sister, but that part didn't last a whole long time. And, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm forgetting. Because I know the toothpaste, that was kind of funny. And the luxurious looking bathroom, but the crappy motel room. And then the toad, the rat, it was a dark colored rat that started running around. And then the couple, I remember what they looked like and everything. And then we went off shopping in the McDonald's and the big yucky pancake that the little Asian guy was cooking. And that all was over to the right. What was over to the left, I can't remember. You know, the shops or whatever that was over to the left, I can't remember. But the first McDonald's was all closed up, and it was over to the right. And then we went to another little area, and that McDonald's was over to the right. We looked up at the sign, and it wasn't a normal McDonald's sign, but I saw McDonald's, and I saw like some yellow. The sign was like yellow, and that McDonald's was open. And but what was over to the left, I can't remember. There was probably some other shops or restaurants or whatever, but I can't remember. And I'm trying to think. But I know me and Mom, we did walk around for quite some time, you know, and looked at some shops and stuff before we even went and found the food area, the McDonald's or whatever. And I'm trying to remember if I'm forgetting anything. Okay, I'm trying to remember. And like I say, it was just a 10-hour drive from here to Phoenix. 10-hour drive, and we were only going to stay for 2 days. And that was already programmed for me to know all that and the scenario. But I'm trying to remember if I'm forgetting anything, and I'm sure I am. But anyway, I don't think much happened after we, you know, saw the pancakes, looked at McDonald's, went shopping. I don't think much happened after that, but it did seem like we maybe met up with my sister, but I can't remember that part. Well, if I remember any more details, which I think that was pretty much all of it. But like I say, it's just amazing because I could talk about the scenario in 20 minutes, but this whole freaking scenario lasted, you know, at least a couple days. You know, we were walking around, you know, walking around for at least hours and hours and hours. That part and the driving part lasted a long time. And, you know, it lasted a long time. But anyway, if I remember anything else, I'll put it in the comments. But, because it almost seems like I may be forgetting a little bit. But it may be the ending that I'm kind of forgetting. But anyway, it was fun. And I don't think I had any other dreams either. I think that was the only one I had this morning. But anyway, thanks for listening.